As fertility rates across the United States continue to decline, some of the largest drops have been among Hispanics. One big reason: generational difference. Wendell, N.C., Yoselin Wences grew up with a constant refrain from her parents, immigrants from Mexico who became a landscaper and a cook. The mindset was, "Don't be like us," she said. "Don't get married early. Don't have children early. Don't be one of those teen moms. We made these sacrifices so that you can get educated and start a career." She followed that advice, and now, at 22, Ms. Wences, a junior at North Carolina State University, will soon become the first member of her family to graduate from college. When asked about children, Ms. Wences replied that for her, they were years away. "Probably around 34 or 35, she said. "That age range seems ideal to me." As fertility rates across the United States continue to decline, 2017 had the country's lowest rate since the government started keeping records. Some of the largest drops have been among Hispanics. The birth rate for Hispanic women fell by 31% from 2007 to 2017, a steep decline that demographers say has been driven in part by generational differences between Hispanic immigrants and their American-born daughters and granddaughters. It is a story of becoming more like other Americans. Nearly two-thirds of Hispanics in the United States today are born in this country, a fact that is often lost in the noisy political battles over immigration. Young American-born Hispanic women are less likely to be poor and more likely to be educated than their immigrant mothers and grandmothers, according to the Pew Research Center, and many are delaying childbearing to finish school and start careers, just like other American-born women. Hispanics are in essence catching up to their peers, said Lena Guzman, a demographer at Child Trends, a nonprofit research group. The Hispanic decline is helping to drive a major shift in the country's fertility patterns. Child Trends found that 2016 was the first year in which American women ages 25 to 29 did not have the highest birth rate. Instead, the rate was highest among women in their early 30s. In the last year, as demographers have tried to better understand what is driving the country's overall declining fertility rate, they have looked more closely at the data broken down by race and ethnic group. The fertility rate for Hispanics, defined by demographers as people who report they are of Hispanic origin on birth certificates, dropped to 67.6 from 97.4 births per 1,000 women. By contrast, the rate for non-Hispanic whites fell by 6% to 57.2, and by about 12% for blacks to 63.1, according to Child Trends. The implications of the Hispanic decline are broad. With the white population shrinking, Hispanics account for the majority of the population gains in the United States. And while their fertility rates are still the highest for any major racial and ethnic group, the steep drops in recent years are having an effect. The United States population grew by just 0.6% last year, the smallest increase in 80 years, according to Ken Johnson, a demographer at the University of New Hampshire. He noted that, at current rates, young Hispanic women will have an average of 2 children, down from 3 just a decade ago. The largest decline in Hispanic fertility rates has been among women of Mexican heritage, Dr. Guzman said. That is significant for the nation's fertility patterns because of the sheer size of the Mexican origin population, which accounts for nearly two-thirds of all Hispanics and around 11% of the American population, according to the Pew Research Center. Ms. Wences' parents, who came to the United States permanently in the mid-1990s, met on a tobacco farm and settled in a rural patch of Wake County, which contains Raleigh and its suburbs. Soon after, when her father was 21 and her mother was 23, Ms. Wences was born. There weren't many Hispanic families in the area at the time. Ms. Wences recalled spending more time with children who were not Hispanic and discovering differences. Their parents were much older than her parents. They worked at desks, not outside. I remember mentioning my mom had my sister when she was 15 and I kind of got the side eye, she said. Ms. Wences once bragged to a friend, as they walked on school grounds just before a snowstorm, that her father was the one who sprinkled the salt crunching under their feet. Her father, Enrique, later told her not to talk about his work. He said, "You don't want to be like me, mija," she recalled, using a Spanish abbreviation for my daughter. "I want you to go to school. I want you to do better than me." Mr. Wences, 43, said he was self-conscious that he did not finish high school. It was a regret that would power him through 7-day workweeks for 25 years so that his daughters could get an education. One of the happiest moments of his life was when Yoselin called him from her car in the parking lot of Wake Technical Community College, where she was studying for an associate degree, to tell him that NC State had accepted her transfer application. Ms. Wences said that if she got pregnant now, she would probably have to drop out of college. I'd feel embarrassed that the sacrifices that my dad made up to this point would be going down the drain, she said. Between 2007 and 2017, the population of Hispanic women of childbearing age in Wake County grew nearly 50%, drawn by a booming local economy. Yet the fertility rate for Hispanic women dropped by about 47%, according to Dr. Johnson. The rate for women who were not Hispanic dropped by about 16% in the same period, he said. Birth rates tend to follow economic cycles. The fact that the American rate has not picked up along with the economy in recent years has puzzled demographers. In a survey late last year, the top reasons young women gave for delaying children involved money. Children were simply too expensive. But several young women interviewed for this article said that was not the case for them. Many came from large extended families with aunts and cousins who would care for a baby if need be. Many of those women had been raised by siblings in Mexico as their parents worked. I have a very supportive circle, Ms. Wences said, adding that if she wanted to go through with having a baby, her boyfriend's parents would probably help. But what is the point of having a child if you can't enjoy it?